Tools you will need to turn between centers include a crescent wrench or hex key set, depending on the type of lathe dog, center drill, cutting tools, stock to turn, and hex or round stock to create a drive center. Place your stock in the chuck, tighten it in place, and face the end. Clean the tailstock quill and the tang of the drill chuck with your hand and place it in the tailstock. Place a center drill in the drill chuck and tighten it in place. Drill with the center drill to a depth of at least 2/3 of the taper. You want as much surface area as possible for the live and turning centers to grab onto while turning the part. Flip the stock over and repeat the process on the other side. Loosen the necessary screw and adjust the compound slide angle to 30 degrees. Some lathes have a screw under the tool post that needs to be loosened as well. Tighten the screws back in place and place a left-handed cutting tool in the tool post. Clean the tailstock quill and the tang of the live center and place it in the tailstock. Align the height of the cutting tool with the live center. Adjust the tool geometry so only the tip of the cutting tool is touching and tighten down the tool post. Place the stock for the drive center into the chuck and tighten all 3 pinions, starting with the marked one. Turn the lathe on by pushing the handle down, which is the opposite direction of normal operation. When removing material from the backside of the stock, the chuck must spin in the proper direction to remove material. Move the cutting tool 0.010 of an inch toward the chuck with the Z-axis hand tool and begin removing material using the compound slide. Move the cutting tool away from the part and retract the compound slide hand wheel. Continue to cut the angle in 0.010 inch increments. If the cutting tool geometry is incorrect, loosen the tool post and adjust the tool so only the tip is removing material. Continue operations until you have a sharp point. Tighten the lathe dog on the stock. Move the live center to the tail end of the stock. Tighten the tailstock to the ways. Turn the tailstock hand wheel while rotating the stock. When there's enough friction to move the live center while moving the part, lock the tailstock sleeve in place. Make sure the lathe dog is resting against the proper jaw before starting the lathe. You are now ready to begin turning operations. Turning between centers enables greater precision than clamping stock directly in the chuck. The part will always be perfectly centered as long as a fresh layer of material on the dead center is removed every time it is clamped in the chuck. If you remove the dead center and later place it back in the chuck, the center point will not be in the exact same position as before. Important things to remember. Always ask questions if you need help. Don't force the live center into the part. If this is done, the bearing will heat up, ruining the live center or possibly even starting a fire. Make sure you are always cutting with the tip of the cutting tools. If you can't get the proper tool clearance because of obstructions, use alternative or custom tooling to ensure proper tool geometry. Make sure the lathe dog is resting against the proper jaw before starting the lathe. If done incorrectly, the chuck jaw will slam into the lathe dog.